Okay, what we want to know is no more information is going to be available, question mark, about the Rumpelstiltskin demonic programs announced by Magenta Pixie. Well, she has her um, collective that she channels, and that's what she was given to give out. And the only thing I can add on that is, God, Magenta, please tell us more about that particular subject. And we want to know if it's related to a mass mind control program as an alternative reality game to Once Upon a Time, the ABC TV series. What does it mean? Well, we just want to remind you that as we go from out of the third dimension through the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension, starting in the fourth dimension, weird things start happening in our reality, which was the whole theme of Once Upon a Time, the TV show. That, maybe there's alternate realities of us where we're elves. Or mermen. Ethel Merman. No, mermen, like mermaids and mermen. How could that be? Well, only in a imagination, someone might say. If someone says to you, use your imagination, what does it mean? I don't really know. It's just like, I have an imagination? What's that? And then you get a definition. It's like, well, when I was young, imagination was just like another word, like wrench. It's like imagination, wrench, they're words, and I didn't classify those words. So they were just words that I heard that, and sometimes you might, when you're like, 3 years old, you might say wrench and you're pointing at a toothbrush or something. So, this is just the way the human mind grows from childhood. Piaget studied all this. And we want to remind ourselves that primitive mind, let's go with primitive mind of that 3-year-old, is it still like active in us somehow? It was like if you had a version of Windows, there were some people that claimed that they could shut down program after program in Windows until they got to the DOS prompt, which was the previous operating system before Windows. So, do these things really still exist? Someone wants to mention the key maker in the Matrix movies as someone who might have been doing a kind of an old-fashioned trade, right? Making metal keys, modern-day hotels. Oh my God, it's been those plastic cards. I don't even know if they use plastic cards anymore. That's what they used to use, like 20 years ago. But before that, they had metal keys. But anyway, what is it? All symbols. It's like decoding locks to get through locked areas. And who's doing this? Well, it's still supposed to be a massive battle between the forces of darkness and the forces of evil. That is what Magenta Pixie said. She said that once the dark ran out of fuel and they couldn't get it anymore from the light, then they would turn on themselves. And this was the end of, that recent Stephen King movie, the sequel to The Stand. And in the end, that's what happens, is the ghouls end up feeding on the ghouls. And this is supposed to be what's happening somehow. Magenta Pixie was going on about. Anyway, I don't understand because it's secondhand news from Magenta Pixie. It's very interesting, but maybe I'll have to listen to that particular episode again. Look below here, this video here, and I'll give you a link to this particularly special episode of Magenta Pixies. What's going on in the story of the liberation of planet Earth from the evil cabals.